You ever see a CEO who just can't stay off Twitter? We're talking about Randy Pitchford today. Borderlands 4 just launched, and instead of celebrating what should have been a big moment for Gearbox, Pitchford has been on one of the most unhinged Twitter streaks I've seen from a game executive. Every time players bring up performance issues, optimization problems, or just general frustrations with the game, Randy hops back online to clap back with some bizarre analogy, or a condescending comment, or even a flat-out dismissal. And look, normally I'd say, fine, let the game speak for itself. But when the person in charge keeps jumping online to basically say, no, you're the problem, not the game, that makes things a lot worse. Borderlands 4 is struggling. Players are reporting frame drops, crashes, and bad performance even on high-end systems. Steam reviews reflect that, Reddit threads are full of complaints, and benchmark tests show the game just isn't optimized the way it should be. So today I want to break down exactly what Randy Pitchford's been saying, why it's a terrible look for Gearbox, and why this kind of defensive tweeting is actively hurting the game's reputation. Instead of brushing off players' concerns, he should be doing the opposite, staying quiet, gathering feedback, working on fixes, but instead we're stuck with a Twitter feed that reads more like a stand-up comedy mixed with tech support gaslighting. So what has Randy actually been saying? Let's start with the big ones. One of his most infamous lines so far, Borderlands 4 is a premium game made for premium gamers. Just as Borderlands 4 cannot run on PlayStation 4, it cannot be expected to run on too old PC hardware. If you're trying to drive a monster truck with a leaf blower's motor, you're going to be disappointed. That's a real quote. A monster truck with a leaf blower's motor. Basically, if you're not running the latest, greatest hardware, Randy's telling you straight up the game is not for you. Another gem. If you're not 4K stubborn and just want to have a great fun time with higher performance, please consider running at 1440p resolution. So if you thought you could buy a shiny new game and actually run it at the resolution you wanted, Randy's telling you to pipe down and lower your expectation. That is wild. Imagine spending years hyping up your game, selling as the next gen giant looter shooter, and then when players complain, the CEO says, well, just refund it then. Not, we'll optimize it, not, we'll work on patches, just leave if you don't like it. But my personal favorite, and one that has shown just how thin-skinned this whole thing has gotten, is when someone criticized the optimization, Randy shot back with, hold your own engine and show us how it's done, please. We will become your customers if you pull it off. That's the kind of sarcastic comeback you'd expect from a random fanboy online, not an actual CEO of the company. And to top it all off, he started citing customer service numbers to prove that the problem doesn't exist. He claimed that only 1% of installs even submit tickets, and of those, only 0.4% are performance related, and then only 0.09% are what he calls valid. Which, okay, those numbers sound impressive, but let's be real, hardly anyone ever files tickets for performance issues. They go to Reddit, they leave Steam reviews, they complain on YouTube or Twitter. Acting like the low number of tickets means there's no problem is disingenuous at best. So in short, Pitchford's tweets basically boil down to 3 messages. 1. If your PC isn't top tier, the game isn't for you. 2. Stop being stubborn, lower your settings, or just refund it. 3. The problem is small, the internet is exaggerating, and if you don't like it, tough luck. Now, that's one way to handle criticism, but is it the smart way? The first issue with Pitchford's tweets is they come off as dismissive. Players aren't just nitpicking for fun, they're reporting crashes, frame drops, and serious performance problems on hardware that, by all accounts, should be able to run the game smoothly. When someone with a $2,000 rig can't get stable frames without using DLSS or frame generation, that's not stubbornness, that's a valid complaint. By responding with jokes and metaphors instead of empathy, Randy basically tells his customers, it's not us, it's you. And that's the worst possible way to handle this kind of situation. Because people don't want to be told they're too poor or too stubborn to play the game. They want to know the developers are listening and working on fixes. The second issue is that it undermines Gearbox's credibility. Imagine you're a player on the fence about buying Borderlands 4, you see mixed Steam reviews, performance complaints on Reddit, and then you check the CEO's Twitter where he's calling his game premium for premium gamers and telling people to refund it if they don't like it. Are you going to drop $70 on the game? Probably not. Third, it creates an us versus them mentality. Instead of Gearbox and the players being on the same side, working together to improve the game, it feels like a fight. Randy positions himself as the defender of a perfect game, while anyone complaining is cast as unreasonable or stubborn. That makes players feel unheard and dismissed, which only fuels more backlash. And finally, it distracts from the real solution. The truth is, Borderlands 4 probably just needs better optimization. Patches, bug fixes, performance updates could fix a lot of the problems people are having. But every time Randy opens Twitter to downplay complaints, the conversation shifts away from how do we fix this to why is this CEO being so defensive? It's a classic case of a leader making things worse by talking too much. Sometimes the best move isn't to argue on Twitter, it's to shut up, gather feedback, and keep your head down to solve the problem. So what should Randy Pitchford be doing instead of tweeting like a Reddit troll with a blue checkmark? First, acknowledge the issues. Even if you think the majority of the complaints are exaggerated, it costs nothing to say, we're listening, we're aware, and we're working on it. That's all people want. They want to know that their frustrations aren't falling on deaf ears. Second, be transparent. Instead of citing vague ticket numbers, why not just publish actual performance data, show benchmarks across different hardware, show how patches are improving frame rates, give people something concrete, not dismissive metaphors about monster trucks and leaf blowers. Third, prioritize fixes. Don't tell people to refund the game, make them glad they bought it. Even if the optimization takes time, communicating a roadmap and delivering regular patches will show that Gearbox is serious about solving the problem. Lastly, stay off Twitter, at least until the game stabilizes, because right now every tweet Randy makes is gasoline on the fire. The more he tries to defend the game, the worse the perception gets. It's the Streisand effect in action. By trying so hard to argue that the game is fine, he's only drawing more attention to the fact that people think it isn't. The irony here is that Pitchford probably thinks he's defending his team and the game they worked so hard on. In reality, his tweets are doing the opposite. They're taking the spotlight off the developer's hard work and putting it on his own defensive over-the-top comments. So here's the bottom line. Randy Pitchford needs to log off. Borderlands 4 could still be a great game. Gearbox has the talent, the resources, and the experience to fix performance problems, patch bugs, and turn things around. But none of that matters if the CEO keeps making headlines for telling players they're too stubborn, too poor, or too picky to enjoy the game. At the end of the day, players don't care about metaphors, refund jokes, or sarcastic comments. They care about whether the game runs well and whether the developer listens when problems come up. Every time Pitchford jumps online to brush off complaints, he sends the message that Gearbox doesn't care. And that's a real shame, because Borderlands is one of the most beloved franchises in gaming, and it deserves better than being dragged down by defensive tweets and PR disasters. So if I could give Randy Pitchford one piece of advice, it'd be this: put the phone down, focus on the patches, and let the game do the talking, because right now, Twitter isn't saving Borderlands 4. Like, comment, subscribe. My name's Vinsuka. I'll see y'all on the next one. See ya.